So in today's class, we are going to see about the accounts from incomplete records. You will be knowing about the meaning of incomplete records, features of incomplete records, limitations of incomplete records, differences between double entry system and the incomplete records, accounts from incomplete records, how to ascertain the profit or loss from incomplete records through statement of affairs. So till 1.7 we are going to cover in this video. So let us now move on to the meaning of incomplete records. So what is meant by incomplete? What do you mean by incomplete records? So when accounting records are not strictly maintained according to the double entry system, these records are called as incomplete records. So it is something incomplete and unscientific way of bookkeeping. So it is also called as the single entry system of bookkeeping. So generally only cash and the personal accounts of customers and creditors are maintained under this system. They ignore the real and nominal accounts. So now let us move on to the features of incomplete records. Nature. So it is an unscientific and unsystematic way of recording transactions. Accounting principles and accounting standards are not followed properly. And what are the types of accounts maintained? As I told you, only cash and personal accounts are maintained fully. Real accounts and nominal accounts are not maintained. Some transactions may be completely omitted. The next point is lack of uniformity. They don't follow standard accounting policies or procedures. It differs from one organization to another. So different organizations record their transactions according to their needs and conveniences. The next point, financial statements may not represent true and fair view. So due to the incomplete information and inaccurate records of accounts, the profit or loss calculated from these records cannot be relied upon. So it may not represent true profitability. Even the assets and the liabilities may not represent a true and fair view of financial position. The next is suitability. Only the business concerns which have no legal obligation to maintain books of accounts under double entry system may maintain incomplete records. So it is maintained by the small size sole traders and partnership firms. So it is suitable only for these kind of organizations, sole traders and partnership firms. Mixing up of personal and business transactions. So generally, personal transactions of the owners are mixed up with the business transactions. So for example, purchase of goods for own use may be mixed along with the business purchase. Now let us move on to the limitations of incomplete records. First point is lack of proper maintenance of accounts. As we already know, it is unscientific and unsystematic way of maintaining records. Only cash and personal accounts of customers and creditors are alone maintained. They ignore real and nominal accounts. So these two accounts are not maintained properly, real and nominal accounts. Difficulty in preparing trial balance. As we know, single entry system of bookkeeping is incomplete. All the accounts are not maintained for all the items. So hence it is very difficult to prepare the trial balance. So what is a trial balance? So trial balance is a statement prepared to check the arithmetical accuracy of the accounts. So this trial balance cannot be prepared under the incomplete records. Difficulty in ascertaining true profitability of the business. The profit is found out based on the available information and estimates. It is difficult to ascertain true profitability. It's not that it cannot be ascertained, but we may not know the accurate profit or loss. It cannot be prepared with accuracy. It can only be a mere estimate. Difficulty in ascertaining financial position. So we already know only the estimated values of assets and liabilities are available from these incomplete records. So with these incomplete records, it is difficult for us to ascertain true and fair view of state of affairs or the financial position as on a particular date. Errors and frauds cannot be detected easily. Only partial records are available. So it is not possible to have internal checks in maintaining accounts or to detect errors and fraud. Unacceptable to government and other authorities. As accounts maintained under the system is incomplete, they may not comply with the legal requirements. So maybe government or tax authorities or any other legal authorities, they don't accept accounts that are prepared under the incomplete system or the single entry system of bookkeeping. The next one is going to be the differences between the double entry system and incomplete records. Recording of transactions. So under the double entry system of bookkeeping, both debit and credit aspects of the transactions are recorded. So for every debit, there will be equal and corresponding credit and vice versa. Whereas in case of incomplete records, debit and credit aspects of all the transactions are not recorded completely. For some, both may be entered. For some, it may be recorded partially, or some it may be omitted completely. Types of accounts maintained. Under double entry system, personal, real and nominal accounts are maintained fully. Whereas in case of incomplete records, only personal and cash accounts are maintained fully. Real and nominal accounts are not maintained. Preparation of trial balance. So trial balance can be prepared to check the arithmetical accuracy of the entries made in the books of accounts under the double entry system. So as you know, under double entry system, for every debit there will be equal and corresponding credit. So when you prepare the trial balance, both your debit side as well as your credit side gets tallied. Right? Whereas in case of incomplete records, it is not easy for us to prepare trial balance. It is very, very difficult to check the arithmetic accuracy of entries made as the accounts are incomplete. Determination of true profit or loss. Under the double entry system of bookkeeping, when we start with the accounting cycle, we start with the transactions, then your subsidiary books, your ledger accounts, preparation of trial balance, and from trial balance we move on to the trading and profit and loss account, and the last step will be the balance sheet. So here under the double entry system of bookkeeping, we have trading and profit and loss account can be prepared to find out the true profit or loss. As in case of the single entry system, it is not easy. We may not have accurate information. Hence, profit or loss may not be accurate. Determination of financial position. So under the double entry system, balance sheet can be prepared to know the true financial position. Whereas in case of incomplete records, balance sheet cannot be prepared with accuracy and true financial position cannot be ascertained, as the assets and liabilities are just estimates and they are incomplete. Suitability. Double entry system of bookkeeping is suitable for all kind of firms, whether small, medium or large firms. So it is suitable for all types of organization. As in case of incomplete records, it may be suitable for small size sole traders and partnership firms. Reliability. Double entry system is very reliable since it is a scientific system of accounting and it is based on certain accounting principles. Incomplete records are not reliable because they are unsystematic and unscientific way of bookkeeping. Acceptability. Accounting records under the double entry system are acceptable to all users, including the tax authorities, financial institutions, even government or any other legal authorities. They may accept the books which are maintained under the double entry system of bookkeeping. Whereas accounting records which are maintained by the single entry system may not be acceptable to all users. So these are the differences between the double entry and the single entry system. The next one, accounts from incomplete records. So how to ascertain profit or loss from incomplete records? So we will be using this formula, closing capital plus drawings minus additional capital minus opening capital, which gives profit or loss. We will be using this formula to find out the profit or loss. The next portion is your statement of affairs. Before that, just look into this. This is how the statement of profit or loss is prepared. As I told you, we are going to just use the same formula but in this format. We will start with the capital at the end. We are going to add the drawings, deduct the additional capital. You will be getting the adjusted closing capital. With that adjusted closing capital, we need to deduct the opening capital. If the adjusted closing capital is more than the opening capital, we get profit. If the opening capital is more and the adjusted closing capital is less, we incur loss. The next one is going to be the statement of affairs. A statement of affairs is a statement showing the balances of assets and liabilities on a particular date. It is just similar to a balance sheet. So in a balance sheet, we will be having the liabilities on the left side and the assets on the right side. Same way, even in the statement of affairs, you will put all the liabilities on the left side and the assets on the right side. The statement of affairs is prepared to find out the capital. So just look into this accounting equation. Capital is equal to assets minus liabilities. So you will add up all the assets and deduct the liabilities. You will be getting your capital. just look into the format of statement of affairs. So as I told you, you will be having all the liabilities on the left side and assets on the right side. Sundry creditors, bills payable, outstanding expenses, bank overdraft on the liability side on the left side. Under the assets, you have cash in hand, cash at bank, sundry debtors, bills receivable, stock in trade, prepaid expenses and fixed assets. You need to add up all the assets and then deduct the liabilities. The difference between your assets and the liabilities will be your capital, the balancing figure. In the next video, we will be doing some exercise problems.